All right, hello everybody. My name is Gabriella Gornitzky. I'm the president of the Legal Pathway Society, and today we're going to be learning a little bit more about the psychological first aid certification and how to unlock your resilience. First and foremost, we want to get through some objectives that we have for everybody. It's going to be to understand the core principles of the psychological first aid certification, gain insights into the fundamental principles that guide psychological first aid. We also want to explore applications in the legal field and discover how PFA techniques can be applied in the legal profession. Enhancing your ability to support clients and colleagues in times of distress is something that's very important, very pivotal to this career. I also want you guys to learn some practical PFA skills, where you acquire skills and techniques that can be immediately applied in various situations, both personally and professionally. This isn't something that's just going to help you, in work. It's something that's going to be used in daily life. And we'll watch a couple more videos that delve into, a little bit more about these two things. I also want you guys to know that your resilience is going to be enhanced, and so are your coping strategies. We're going to learn how to explore strategies to foster resilience and coping mechanisms promoting well-being in the face of adversity. And to prepare for this certification, you guys are going to receive guidance on how to navigate the certification process and understand the benefits that it brings to your career. I'm going to have you guys watch a quick little video on what psychological first aid is. And I know this delves into more of the tragedy scenario when it comes to being on site, but you guys need to understand that these skills are something that you are going to be using every single day, whether it's something massive, something small, or something somewhere in the middle. So here's a little video for you guys to watch.
Over our lifetimes, different crises can affect us or people around us. They can be natural disasters like floods and hurricanes, or war, accidents, or incidents of violence and crime. They can impact us as an individual, a family, or entire communities. In such events, people may lose their homes or their loved ones. They may be separated from their families, or they may be injured physically or emotionally. People may be overwhelmed with the problems they are facing, uncertain and anxious about what will happen next, sad for their losses, or even emotionally numb as they process what has happened. When a crisis occurs, everyone can be affected differently. Just like after a physical injury, providing quick first aid is an important step for recovery and preventing disability. Similarly, after a psychological trauma, swift care and support is very important for healing. Providing the right care and support during a time of suffering can make a big difference. This early support is called a psychological first aid. Everyone can learn how to provide psychological first aid, whether you are a field worker, volunteer, healthcare worker, or friend, or a community member. We can all make a difference. Let's talk about some fundamentals of psychological first aid. Psychological first aid is a humane, supportive response to a fellow human being who is suffering and who may need support. This is composed of providing practical care and support, assessing needs and concerns, listening if people want to talk, comforting if appropriate, and protecting people from further harm. Psychological first aid is not professional counseling, does not require a detailed recounting of the traumatic event, and is not about pressuring people to share their feelings. It is important to recognize that feeling sad, anxious, or overwhelmed is normal during a crisis. Different people may express their emotions in different ways. Some people may have mild reactions, while others can have more severe reactions. Also, the time it takes for people to start recovering may be different, whether it's days, weeks, or months. Importantly, not everyone going through a crisis will need or want support, so do not force help on people who do not want it, but make yourself easily available to those who do. Prior to beginning to offer a psychological first aid, it is important to know what crisis occurred, know the local culture and customs, and know what relevant resources are available for those in need. Provide support in a way that is culturally appropriate and dignified. Some people may only feel comfortable talking alone in privacy or talking to a person of the same gender. Be aware of appropriate cultural expectations. Ask permission before entering into someone's space and before asking any questions, so the person has a feeling of control and they know they can end the conversation whenever they want. And when interacting, use language that a person can understand. Remember that being a caring and attentive listener is often more important than any words you use. Listen first and talk second. Psychological first aid has 3 core steps: look, listen, and link. Look. First, check your surroundings to see if the area is safe, and see if you are able to have a conversation safely without harm to yourself or others. Also, take note of people who have immediate physical needs, or people who are in acute mental distress. Both of these groups might need more assistance than you are able to give. Know your local partner agencies and emergency service and get help if needed. Listen. Be a good listener. Be patient and calm. Listen with care and empathy. Try not to interrupt or rush the person. Avoid asking details about what happened, since narrating their trauma may cause a person more distress. Acknowledge how the person is feeling and what struggles they're going through. You can say, "This must be difficult for you," or "I can only imagine how this must feel." Do not judge the person's actions or feelings. Do not suggest what they should have done, and do not question their actions at the time of crisis. Importantly, do not say that you understand, because you truly cannot understand how a person feels, but you can listen and show care. Respect their trust and don't share their stories without their permission. Link. Provide people with links for their basic needs, such as food or water, shelters or camps, commodities, or places where they can find new work. If they have specific needs, learn what those are and attempt to link them appropriately. Some of your work can also include getting people involved in solving their own problems. This gives a feeling of empowerment. Be honest and optimistic. However, do not give false hopes or wrong information. If you do not know an answer to something, just say, "I don't know," or "I don't know, but I'll try to find out for you." Encourage people to use positive coping behaviors. Ask them what works for them when they are in stressful situations. It might be resting or regaining their energy. It may be talking to loved ones. It may be praying and engaging in religious rituals. Or it might be getting involved in helping others around them. These positive coping activities can be very helpful. Such positive activities may also prevent the person from unhealthy coping mechanisms, like using drugs, smoking, neglecting self-care, or going into isolation. Some people may just need extra support. This can include children and adolescents who are separated from their caregivers, those with physical or mental health disabilities, pregnant or women with small children, elderly people, and those who are in marginalized groups of society. Try your best to identify relevant resources for these groups. Remember to know your own limitations. You may not be able to provide help to everyone or address every need. Try to find out what other efforts and programs are in place so that you do not feel alone and can get support from others. Be sure to take time for yourself to eat, sleep, recharge, and renew your own energy. Remember to be gentle with yourself. You do not need to have all the solutions. Caring and being involved is a wonderful step in lending a hand during a crisis. The organizations involved in relief work should try their best to care for those who are involved in caring for others. See links to different resources in the description. We can all play a role to help those going through a crisis. Let's put forth our best efforts to make a difference.
So I hope you guys were taking notes during that section. I have a little bullet points for you guys to write down if you did it. Those are going to be right here for you. And I hope you guys learned what the psychological first aid certification is and what having those skills are. And that is, it's an evidence-based, informed approach to assist individuals in the aftermath of a traumatic event. And it aims to reduce distress and foster short and long-term adaptive functioning. This is not something that you're just going to use in the legal field, but something that you're going to be using in daily life as well. And for anybody in criminal justice or HR, this is going to be a really, really good skill for you to have when dealing with clients, employees, and people around you. Now, applying this in the legal field can stretch across a wide variety. Legal professionals are often encounter individuals in distress, whether this be clients or, your partners as well. It can be applied during client interactions, especially in sensitive cases. I'll get more into that later on in this. And it provides a framework for empathetic communication and support. Some of the foundational principles that you guys should have learned is establishing contact and engagement. And this means creating a connection with individuals to initiate support. You also should have learned how to create a safe environment, which ensures a secure space for individuals to express themselves and stabilizing emotions. Helping individuals manage and stabilize their emotional responses. We'll list also gathering essential information, collecting necessary details to address immediate needs efficiently. To get more into how we're going to use this in the legal practice is that the psychological first aid certification emphasizes the importance of creating a safe and supported space throughout the empathetic communication process, fostering trust within our clients and the people around us. In cases involving personal injury or trauma, applying this PFA principle can be instrumental in addressing immediate needs and providing emotional support. By integrating these principles, we can empower our clients to navigate the legal process with enhanced resilience and coping mechanisms. This can go on a wide variety. I'll get a little bit more into this as well later on. In our field, sadly, there is a high incidence of depression, which presents a statistical insight that I want to give you guys into the prevalence of depression among the legal professionals. Some studies show that lawyers are 3.6 times more likely to suffer from depression compared to the general population. I want to highlight the factors within the legal profession that contributed to these mental health challenges, because it's something that may affect all of us later on. For example, these can be long working hours, high stake cases, intense client interactions, anywhere from personal injury to, unfortunately, rape. Recognizing and addressing these mental health challenges is crucial for the well-being of individuals in the legal field. And I want you guys to learn a little bit more about empathy, so you're going to watch a very short video on what that is.
The importance of empathy. We all live in our own version of reality, a reality that is limited by our senses, our temperament, and our own experiences. It is the only reality we will ever truly know. But it is crucial to our personal development, our relationships, and to society itself that we make the effort to try and experience other people's realities as well. This is done through empathy. Simply stated, empathy is an active attempt to understand another person's perspective, their emotions, and in essence, their reality. We are social animals, and our ability to communicate and understand each other's emotional states is key to maintaining our relationships. So it is little wonder that the ability to empathize is hardwired directly into our brains. One area that assists in this process is the right supramarginal gyrus, which helps us to distinguish our own emotional state from that of another person, and plays a key role in our ability to observe and assess what other people are experiencing. Studies from Neuron Science Journal suggest that we have systems of mirror neurons in our brains that cause us to mimic the actions of others. That is why when we see someone yawn, we will often yawn in reply. And when we observe someone experiencing joy or pain, we experience the same sensation to a certain extent. But these reactions are primarily driven by subconscious reflexes. In order to be truly empathic, you have to actively think beyond yourself and your own concerns. You can develop this empathic skill by practicing some simple habits. Be observant of others. We tend to spend the majority of our day dwelling on ourselves, caught up in our own daily routines and digital distractions. But taking the time to observe others around you is a good first step in developing your empathy. Watch and wonder. Try to focus on the person's state of being rather than categorizing or labeling them. Ask yourself, what kind of day are they having? How are they feeling? Challenge yourself to genuinely care about their well-being. Curiosity about others is the first step to expanding your empathy. Use active listening. During a conversation, especially a heated one, most people formulate the response before the other person even finishes their statement. This form of communication is more verbal combat than an exchange of ideas or opinions. Avoid this reflex by slowing down. Rather than rushing to reply, take a moment to consider the other person's statement. Ask follow-up questions to better understand what the speaker intended. Try to understand their emotional state and the deeper motivations behind their statement. What life experiences led them to their current worldview? Remember, you don't need to share someone's opinion in order to understand it and acknowledge it. And listening will help inform and expand your own opinion. Open up. Learning more about other people's experiences is a key element to seeing the world through someone else's eyes. But it is also important to open up about your own feelings and experiences. Empathy is a two-way street that at best is built upon mutual understanding. Through a combination of uncovering the deeper motivations of someone else's position and expressing our own underlying concerns, we often discover a shared commonality, even with those who hold different beliefs than ours. Through the practice of keeping an open mind, empathy helps us challenge prejudice, find commonality, and expand our moral universe. Without it, we are apt to label people outside our circle as the other, the problem, or the enemy. These labels draw lines in the sand that prevent us from moving forward or growing. It cuts us off from the realization that the human experience is a shared experience. We have much more in common than we think, and are really just seeing small variations of the same reality. The importance of empathy.
Now that we've learned a little bit more about empathy, I want you guys to learn about how to elevate your impact with these newfound skills that you guys are going to get in your psychological first aid certification. In the legal profession, we often find ourselves navigating complex and emotionally charged situations. The insights that we're going to gain from these principles can be transformative in our careers. They equip us to not only empathize with our clients, but actively contribute to their well-being during challenging times. And again, this applies to most fields, whether it be criminal justice, you're a first responder, you work in the legal field, or even working in retail. Sometimes you get some crazy customers. And I want you guys to remember that this certification is a comprehensive journey that you guys can now embark on at your own pace. It's a 5-hour certification, and it's completely free. You can complete this on your own time. These resources and materials will guide you through the finer nuances of this valuable certification, allowing you to delve deeper into the realms of psychological support. And now I'm going to take a couple minutes to show you guys how to get onto the website, sign up for your account, and where to find it. First and foremost, we're going to get on to the Make a New Account page. You're going to create a username, password, input your email address, first name, last name, etc., etc. And as soon as you do this, you'll be able to look up the Psychological First Aid Certification on the certifications bar. Right over here, you can see the PFA and SPR. Another certification that we're going to be doing a workshop on later in the coming months. When you click on the psychological and SPR page, you'll get to the Psychological First Aid PFA online. Where you're going to log into the site, and then from that point, you'll be able to take this course at your own pace. And at the end of this, you will earn a free certificate where you can download or print it. I want to take some time and thank you guys for coming on today and for watching this video.